Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this Rangers review special, of course, after the signing of Fabio Silva from Wolves on loan yesterday. We thought we'd get a bit of an insight into what we can expect from the Portuguese striker. I'm delighted to say we're joined by Dave from Always Wolves Fan TV to give us the lowdown on Fabio Silva. Dave, how's it going?
Yes, great. Fantastic to be joining you today. Always love the Glasgow Rangers, and so it's great to be on your channel. And I'll do as much as I can to give you a little bit of insight onto young Fabio for you.
Yeah, super stuff. Really appreciate you coming on, Dave. As we touched on, it was a move that went really swiftly yesterday. It was sort of mooted last week. There was a bit of noise that he was looking to move away on loan. We know that Celtic and Rangers were looking to sign him. He posted that little
emoji.
Yes. Yeah, and then the move sort of materialised. A couple of hours later, he's pictured with the Rangers strip on, scarf above his head, and the job's done. It will be subject to international clearance, and he will join Rangers on that 6-month loan. No option to buy, folks. But Dave, since joining Wolves, he joined for big money, didn't he, from Porto? Why has it not really quite worked out for him at Molineux?
You know, Fabio Silva is probably one of the biggest frustrations as a Wolves fan. I mean, you know, he was mooted as the next wonder kid when he came to Wolves. Wolves, you know, £35 million we paid for him back in the day. And that's been a very heavy price tag for the young lad to where really it's never quite worked out for him at Wolves. I mean, when he first came in, we had obviously Raul Jimenez was our primary striker, and you probably will remember the awful injury that Raul suffered, head injury, which took him out for a very long time. So Fabio was never really meant to play as many minutes at that age. He was built to be coming in behind Raul, and he was, you know, it was during COVID as well. And he was thrown into the deep end at a young age. He did okay. I mean, he scored against our arch rivals, West Bromwich Albion, home and away. So, like, if he scores against Celtic home and away, he's going to be an absolute club legend in like no time at all at the Rangers. But so he did do that, but it was in COVID and not in front of any fans. And you know, he's had quite a few loans, and every time he comes back from loan, we're thinking, is this the time for him to sort of kick on? And it just, again, hasn't happened for him this season. Is the Wolves fans, you know, have really tried to encourage him and really want him to succeed. But the Premier League is such a tough division, especially when you're a young lad. Some come in and they just take to it like a duck to water, and some, you know, they just take a little bit more time to get there. He is an incredibly talented player. There is no doubt about it. He's a gifted player. His movement is, and his awareness and his timing of his runs are fantastic. And if you've got someone that can pick out the runs, he can put the ball in the net. Where he struggled with Wolves, maybe it's a lack of confidence with him. He had some chances early season. He did score against Everton, actually, in the game that we won 1-0, even though it was disallowed by a toenail. And the ball came across. It was an instinctive, didn't even think about it, put it in the corner. But then he followed it up when he's had some one-on-ones, some clear one-on-ones, and every one-on-one he failed to take the chance. And when you're a striker, sometimes when you miss those, you try too hard. You try to make you try. You know, any striker that try to make sure, sometimes they don't do the natural instinctive thing. And as the time's gone on this season, he's had less and less game time, and to the point where he's on the bench, he's not even coming on at all. And it's just, I think the one thing with the Premier League, every single week you're up against real top defense. It doesn't matter who you play in that division; they're all top defenders. He's done quite well when he's gone. He went to, I mean, his goal ratio for Wolves, played 72 in all competitions, scored 5. all those 5 goals were in the first season under Raul. Basically, when he was filling in for Raul, and then he hasn't. He played a few games, and he's not really scored since. But when he was at Porto, he was he was the youngest ever. He broke a few records. He broke like a lot of the records that Ruben Neves had in terms of the youngest player for them to play in competitions, youngest player to score for them, youngest player to play in Europe, which previously Ruben Neves, and look at the player he's turned into, Ruben Neves, he's now 26, 27. And, he's gone over to, he went over to PSV Eindhoven. He did quite well over there. He played 19 times, scored 5 times, and had 2 assists. And then he also was at Anderlecht, where he did play a good season, 32 games for Anderlecht, scoring 11 goals and assisting 4. And also he's done quite well when he's been playing for the Portugal. He's played at under 15s, under 16s, under 17s, under 19s and under 21s for Portugal. And he's played 19 times for the Portuguese under 21s, and he scored 10 times for them. So you can see he's got an eye for goal. I just think his level's not quite Premier League just yet. Yeah. I think it's a really interesting choice because Fabio Silva had a lot of suitors. There's a lot of people that, see that he can do a job at a certain level, and he's definitely one that's going to toughen up and mature and get better. And he had some German clubs in, like you said. Celtic were sniffing around, and so that the fact that he's chosen to go to Rangers when he could have gone. I think that says a lot about him. He sees Rangers as a big club, but Rangers are a massive club. He's going to play obviously quite a lot. He's going to get knocked about a lot in the Scottish League, which I think is a good thing because that's going to really toughen him up. And he's also got the chance to play a bit of European football as well. So I think it's quite a coup for Rangers because he could have gone a lot of places, especially that you've got him over Celtic. That's got to be even sweeter. And I really hope he does really well for you guys.
Yeah, that's interesting, Dave. Lots of comments coming in just off the back of that. RFC 72 saying, boy, his bags of talent, the Premiership move came far too soon for him, though, and derailed him. And John Park with the point. Yeah, John Park with the point. I think the lad struggles with the physical side of the game too. Is that a fair comment, do you think, Dave?
I think it's a fair comment. He has beefed up a lot. He has been doing the gym, and he has beefed up. Obviously, when you're a young lad, you all know we like skinny little rakes and stuff like that. And then as you get older, you beef out, and he's starting to beef out a little bit now. I think, like I say, I also think playing in the Scottish League, the defenders are going to, get every team that plays against Rangers in Scotland, they're going to leave a mark, aren't they? Yeah. They're going to try and ruffle you up and stuff like that. So I think it's great character building, and I think he does have the physicality to deal with that. I just think with Fabio, it's just experience. He needs to play. The lad needs to play football. And I think if he gets a run of games and he's playing, his confidence will come. The fans will take to him and he'll improve as a player. The problem that he's got sitting at Wolves at the moment is he's not getting any game time at all. And he's not in Gary O'Neill's plans at the moment. And he's still on a long-term contract with Wolves. Wolves are reluctant to let him go for like 5-10 million. They want to recoup a lot of that 35 million. And the only way they're going to get either recoup that or he ends up becoming a superstar in Rangers and scores like 15 goals for the rest of the season is by him playing. And I think he'll get goals. And the other thing, he's not a one-trick pony, Fabio Silva. He's not just someone that makes the runs. He can link up play. He can hold the ball up. He's got vision. He can bring other players in. And if sometimes, especially last season, especially previous seasons, sometimes he makes the runs and the ball doesn't come like any striker. They stop making the runs, don't they? But he's got a good natural awareness of where to be as a striker. It's something you can't teach. What he needs to do is build his confidence up. And I think the fact that Rangers really want him and, they're going to be chasing for a title, And there's no reason that Rangers can't take this title back off Celtic this year. Adding someone like Fabio Silva into that mix, I think is only going to strengthen Rangers for the rest of the season and for the title running. And also, of course, he's had a bit of European experience as well, playing in Europe. So that's going to be good. And I think I really hope he's a massive success and they're singing his names. And, at the end of the season, you want him to stay and you're trying to buy him. And so, because if he's done that, he's done a good job.
Yeah, well, the Rangers can afford to buy him as another thing, but I really hope he does well. Graham with a point here. It's a huge opportunity for him as well. It's as challenging for the title, absolutely. European football and playing in front of 50,000 plus every other week. Yeah, absolutely. I think the prospect of the Europa League was a big factor as well for him, Dave. Would you say that chance to play in Europe and test himself against some of the best teams on the continent?
Yeah, I think so, definitely. I mean, he had a little bit of experience of that with Porto. Yeah. Obviously, Wolves haven't made Europe for the last few years. I mean, we did have some fantastic times in, when we had that 1 year, we were in the Europa League and we got knocked out to Sevilla late on in the quarterfinal. We went on to win it. And Raul Jimenez missed a penalty to go 1-0 up in that game as well, and he never missed before.
Yeah.
But it's football. And, but I think, I think the fact, I think had Rangers not been into Europe, it might have not helped. But the fact that you've got European football as well, and you've got all those European nights to look forward to, and Rangers also have got a good history in Europe, and there's no reason why a Rangers team can't go far in that competition as well.
Yeah.
So I think it would have helped definitely, and he's probably looking forward to getting stuck into that.
Yeah, he came on as a sub for Porto recently in a Europa League game a few years ago as well, so he knows all about the atmosphere.
Yeah, that was when he broke Ruben Neves' record as the youngest ever player for Porto.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, see when there's no option to buy at this moment in time, Dave. What do the Wolves fans feel about Fabio then? Do they feel that he can come back from this and perhaps take a claim for a start in the team, or they sort of given up on him?
I wouldn't say they've given up on him. There's very mixed bag with regards to Silva. It's kind of like Groundhog Day for us again. Off he goes on loan. Hopefully he'll do well. He'll come back even better and he'll start banging the goals in for us. And I think every Wolves fan at heart wants to see that Fabio Silva, the wonder kid that we were promised, that we paid 35 million for. Had we have paid 15 million for him, the expectation would not have been as high. But because we spent 35 million and we feel like really his performance he isn't a 35 million pound Premier League player at this point in time. He might come back in the summer. He might have a fantastic. I really hope he has a brilliant. Do you know what? I really hope he bangs in 10 goals for you. You win the title. He's absolutely banging them in because his value is going to go up for one. So Wolves could have the option then to cash in. Someone comes in and says, well, we'll offer you 20-25 million and we sell him and we cut our losses. Or he could come back in, he's full of confidence and he comes back in an even better player next year and it takes off for him and he becomes the Premier League player that we want. I think both options are on the table. The fact that obviously Wolves sporting director Matt Hobbs, has talked about Fabio and he's talked about the fact that he's chose to go to Rangers. He could have gone, to somewhere like that, where there's a lot more sunshine every day and stuff like that. He wants to go and toughen himself up in the Scottish League. I think that's a good sign. He's certainly someone that wants to play football. And I do think that we've got a player at the moment, Mario Lemina. I don't know if you're familiar with him.
Yeah,
he's been brilliant for us. He's now, he's been a bit of a journeyman. He was at Southampton as a younger lad, and the Southampton fans can't believe he's the same player that they had. Sometimes players just develop a little bit late and they take a little bit more time. And I'm sure that Fabio Silva at some point is going to turn into this world-class player. Whether it's going to be at Wolves or he's going to have to go somewhere else, I don't know. He's still only a young lad. He's a young lad. And sometimes, when fans are, what fans can be like. They can get on a lad's back if they're not performing. They can think, and sometimes, but he has been supported by the Wolves fans. They've been singing his name at Molineux when he's been on the touchline, trying to say, we want you to succeed. We love you, Fabio, and giving that confidence. It's just not happened for him. And I think this is a great move for I think it's a great move for Fabio, and I think it's a great move for Rangers, especially if he gets the goals that just helps you nick that title off them down the road.
Yeah. Let's hope you're totally spot on with that, Dave. Neil is a big fan of you coming.
Well, thank you very much, Neil. I appreciate that.
On the channel, so nice comment there, and a nice comment as well. It says, "Seen Dave's channel yesterday, decent pod." Yeah, if people want to find more about Wolves, Dave, how can they do so?
Yeah, so like our channel's always Wolves Fan TV. In fact, we're literally only about 20 short of getting to 32,000 subscribers.
Wow.
So a few of you Rangers fans can help us out there and get us to that network. That would be absolutely amazing. And and we're always Wolves on all the socials, and I'm Dazzling Dave on socials, basically. But like, I really, really do hope, genuinely, that you get that title this year. Come on, Rangers.
Yeah, absolutely. Here. Just before we go, there's a couple of comments coming in. Seems to be a bit people scratching their head about the salary that Rangers will be contributing to. Mark Rob with the point, what's happening with his salary? Are Rangers paying it in full? Do you know what sort of wages he's on at the moment at Molineux, Dave?
He's one of the highest paid players at Molineux.
Wow.
He's right up there, and they're one of the top. I mean, with a £35 million price tag, he's going to be one of the top players. I'm not actually sure, because Wolves haven't divulged this at the moment, how much Rangers are paying towards this. Obviously, they'll be paying. They might be paying a loan fee, I'm guessing. And they'll probably be paying an element, but he's on a fair whack. So how much of that Rangers are going to be paying, I'm not sure. I will try and find out for you, actually. It's a good question. Do you know what, Mark Rob? That is a very, very good question, mate. It's a great question. But I can't, unfortunately, give you an exact answer on that. But I can tell you that he was on a fair whack. He's one of the highest paid players because of that price tag at Wolves.
Yeah. It's fair play. In terms of Wolves this season, I mean, Gary O'Neill's doing a decent job, is he not? I think he's taking the reins there. And what the Wolves fans feeling for the rest of the season, Dave?
I'll tell you what, mate. I'm glad we never had Beale last year when he was coming down to us, mate. Because he was like, when he was at QPR, he was like, he got offered the Wolves job and he turned it down. And then we obviously had Lopetegui. I'm so glad he did. To be honest, I think we might have been in the Championship had he carried on. But Gary O'Neill's come in, obviously, as I referred to. Lopetegui kept us up last year. Lopetegui is a very, very good manager. He's still living in and around Wolverhampton, going to the gym in his Wolves kit, actually.
Wow.
Waiting for another Premier League team. He actually told Matt Hobbs, the sporting director, in the tunnel after our draw with Celtic at the Aviva Stadium in Dublin, that he was leaving. And then basically, Wolves have had a lot of FFP issues this year. We spent a lot of money in January, and we've had to, move a lot of players on. And then it's been a bit of a saga at Wolves in the summer. A lot of negativity around the place. Gary O'Neill literally come in with like 3 days before pre-season. A lot of the Wolves fans straight away didn't take to him. Oh, he's a PE teacher, he doesn't know what he's doing. We had a tough start. They were getting on his back. A lot of fans were at the time saying he needs to go. He's not good enough. Then we beat Man City. Then he goes on Monday Night Football and you get to see a lot more of him. And then it's sort of turned since then. And now everyone's pretty much on side. He's still learning about the Wolves team, but we've got us. We beat Chelsea 2-1. We beat Tottenham 2-1, which was brilliant because we scored 2 goals in added time. So we battered them. We beat Manchester City. We've just gone away and won for the first time in the capital on our 15th attempt, beating Brentford 4-1. And we've got Everton at home at Molineux tomorrow. And Wolves are 7 games unbeaten. So, we're 11th. We're only below Chelsea on goal difference, and we're looking upwards. So it's going good. And, when a new manager comes in, it does take time, but he hasn't really had a transfer window. But we're in a good place, and we feel like, you probably feel the same as this as Rangers fans. When things are not going so good, you've got half the fan base. You fall out with each other.
Yeah.
There's arguments going on. You're not with the team. There's not a connection. I'm guessing the Rangers fans are very much where Wolves fans are at the moment. We feel like we've got our identity back. We feel like we've hot the pack. We feel like the team are playing for each other. The fans are reacting to the players. The players are reacting to the fans. And you're moving forward. And it's from the summer where there was a lot of discontent to now, we're in such a much better place. And I guess that's kind of the same vibe over at Rangers at the moment.
Yeah, not half yet. The new manager's come in and he's worked wonders with the squad that he's got at his disposal. I'd imagine not only will Fabio Silva be the only player arriving at Ibrox in January as he looks to strengthen, but it's certainly a different mood around the club. We're in a title race again, which is a good thing. So very, very much looking forward to the game.
The weekend.
Yeah, tomorrow, lunchtime, Dave. Rangers go to Parkhead.
I guess Fabio can't play in that, can he?
No, he can't play in that one, unfortunately. But yes, I'm sure he'll be watching in the stands or whatever. But
do you go top if you win that game?
No, Rangers they had a game postponed on Wednesday due to the Storm Gerrard. Ross County were unable to make it to Glasgow, so that was postponed. So Celtic 5 points ahead, but Rangers do have 2 games in hand on them. So it's a big one tomorrow.
Game,
yeah, all eyes will be on Parkhead, and hopefully Rangers can get a positive result there. As do Wolves, of course, taking on Everton. I do wish Wolves, good club, all the best for the rest of the season. Hopefully, Gary O'Neill does the business. But it's been brilliant having you on, Dave. Thank you very much, and no doubt we'll speak to you again soon sometime.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And good luck for the best of the season. And I really hope Fabio smashes it for you and bangs in the goals for you and assists.
Yeah, super stuff. There you go, folks. Thanks to Dave. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. And we'll speak to you a little later on. Bye for now.